Imagine Alice Cooper with about 1/100th the money.
If the Cramps had been a heavy metal band.
Crazy as H, blood-splattered, ear-splitting hilarity.
The Wizard of Oz meets splatter horror films.
The gag is, you're in the splash zone.
You're covered with goo and blood, and if you're not completely soaked, you didn't have a haunted garage show.
It's like going to a horror movie, except it's actually happening.
It's basically walking into the most brutal, gory film right in front of your face.
It was probably the best part of my life.
I think of him as a guy with commitment to his art.
That's Dookie. I mean, he wants to take it as far as he can take it.
You gotta see this band.
Wait a minute, are you gonna get this?
Oh, thank you.
Hello, it's me, Kevin Vonesper. Oh, no, I disappeared. Hi, there I am. It's me, Kevin Vonesper. Welcome to a special Memorial Day Monday edition of the VonPod. There's lots of M's happening today. It's Memorial Day, it's Monday, we have Michael T, and we're talking about a party that starts with an M. And you know what? The YouTube, I hear the algorithm doesn't like you to cuss in the first 10 minutes, so that's going to be difficult. So just in case, this party does start with an M, and it ends with a cker. And we'll say it in 10 minutes. How about that? But to, help me fight the algorithm. It's always an uphill battle here on YouTube. If you're here right now, give a like, share, subscribe, send in your questions and comments below. And if you're watching this later, hit me a comment. Let's help me fight the algorithm. Yes, today on a special Monday, Memorial Day, VonPod, we're talking about classic New York nightlife, 25-year anniversary of this special party. I gotta admit, though, up front, that I never made it to this party, although I do think I have some flyers in my box, maybe, for some old, I think I have some old flyers from it, but that's about as close as I got to this party. It's a tragedy, but I love talking about old New York nightlife and old venues and, just how these things always come together. And so it's going to be great to talk to Michael T about the MFer party. And don't forget, get your comments and questions in, because you're part of the show too. We want to interact with the viewers. And also, don't forget, if you really like me, we do have super chats. Anything does help. So get ready for an awesome. Let me get my my intro ready. It's ready. It's time for the VonPod. That's what I'm trying to say. Ready? Let's do it.
VonPod. Welcome to VonPod. I've got chicken heads and deli creeps, scary monsters and super creeps on VonPod. You're listening to VonPod. With aliens and scum dogs, I hope you're here to chat along to VonPod. Welcome to VonPod. You're listening to VonPod. You're watching VonPod. VonPod.
Hello, welcome back, Michael T.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I
I'm
did a
well,
lot of
thank
I did a
you.
lot of partying this weekend, so now it's time to talk about partying.
Yes,
How about
yes.
yourself?
I didn't go too crazy. I was at my usual spot, Beauty Bar,
Right.
anticipating this nice little commemorative interview we're about to have.
Yeah. So it's 25 years. Can you believe it? I mean, I think we're vampires, or I like to say I'm just a general creature of the night, like the Kiss song. I don't really
Yes.
do the blood and the fangs, but what's your excuse?
My excuse for being a vampire, well,
I
let's
created,
just
I don't
be
know if anyone's used this before, but I
relatively
want to call you a
attractive.
glampire.
Pardon?
I want to call you a glampire. That's my new word for you.
Oh, well, that actually was taken by
Oh, I knew someone took
a
it.
past entertainer, friend of mine. Anyway,
Well, It's still a good title. Yeah,
It
that's a
is.
good
It is
name.
indeed.
I'm glad someone used it.
Yes. So, where do you want to begin?
Well, tell me. Yeah, so it's been 25 years since the mother effer party.
Oh, right. We can't say it
Yeah,
for.
we're gonna in 5 minutes. We can say it.
Let's just call it MoFo or
The
MF.
mofo, the MFer
Yeah.
party. Yeah. Like I said, I never got to make it. I regrettably um never got to make it. But tell me how it started. Like, what was the difference between this party and the other things you were doing in the nightlife, and what made it so special?
Well, I would say a lot of things, but specifically, it was I had the idea for the party for about a year and a half, and I just sat on it. I was in my early 30s. I figured I was at that time in my life that I needed to do something next level, but of course, one never knows how anything is going to work out. And I finally started to approach who would be my future partners. The first person that I told was Georgie Seville, who's no longer with us, unfortunately. And then I remember telling Johnny T one night at Manitoba's as he was exiting.
I remember that place.
Yes, on Avenue B, I think
Yeah.
it's 3rd and 4th or something.
Sounds
And
about right.
yeah. And then Justine, I had known Justine the least amount of time. Johnny and Georgie, I had known since the early 90s, so at least 10 years or so, or getting there. And Justine I had only recently met. I think we knew each other a year or so. And then we had a meeting at Mother, which was in the meatpacking district, with Chichi Valenti. And we described the party and all this stuff. And we still didn't have a date. This was hoping that we were going to get the date that we wanted, which was Memorial Day weekend 2000. And we gave a brief description, what we felt the party was going to be like. We said we want this to be a mixed rock and roll dance party, and sort of every subculture that's around, whether it's club kid, goth, rocker, fetish, obviously LGBT, et cetera. And,
all the cool people.
Yes, essentially. And she heard us and she's like, you know what? I like it. And I really felt that she was going to say, but that date is taken, because at the time, Father Sebastian did like speaking of vampire parties there often. And I thought, oh, he probably has that night. And he didn't.
Wow.
And she said, yeah, the calendar's clear. Do you want to do it? And we said, yes. And then she said, so what's the name of the party? And we all looked at each other like, we don't know. We haven't thought of one. And then she said, well, Clark Render has always wondered why we don't have a party called Motherfucker at Mother. Would you like that to be the name of the party? And we all looked at each other and said, sure, let's call it, oh, right, that.
Well, we messed it up already anyways.
Right.
It's fine.
And then, then we started working on the invite and everything. We definitely had competition that night. There was a soul party called Shout at Bar 13. I think there was definitely some goth event, probably from Sebastian, but at another location. And God knows what else. And, this is pre-internet.
Right. Yeah.
Really, the very few, a lot of people still didn't even have cell phones. I didn't have one till 2001. And so everything was the old-fashioned way: invites, hand them out, leave them in stores.
Yeah, like what stores were around back then that you would leave these at? Probably Trash and Vaudeville, right?
Trash, Religious Sex, and Pat Fields, Reminiscence, record stores, Sounds, all that stuff, the whole the whole A Street strip.
Sure.
And knowing people in the stores always helped, so they wouldn't throw them out. And
it's good to know people, guys. Always be friendly to everybody.
And been calling people, literally calling people on the phone. Hey, we're having this party, da 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 da. And opening night came. And for anyone that throws parties, they know that the first hour or two is very stressful because no one is there, and it was
no one wants to be the first one there.
Yeah, and it was no different that night either.
Yeah,
and it was around 11:30 or so, and there was some people there, but it was by no means what I had envisioned in my head. And of course, then I said, "Oh, this is going to suck. No one's going to come." Blah 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 blah. And Formica, our MC, the legendary Mistress Formica, she comes into the DJ booth and she says, "There's a line around the block." And I'm thinking, God, you're an asshole for saying that. And she's like, "No, I'm not kidding. There's a line around the block." And sure enough, within that half hour, we went from, an okay sort of party to madness. And that set the tone pretty much moving forward to how the parties would run, like the trajectory of the night. But it was very, very rewarding to see that people really came out and really partied, and they were dressed up, and it was just a barrage of different subsects of New York City dwellers, nighttime dwellers.
Let me catch up on the chat a little bit here.
Sure.
Bleecker Bob's, did you put flyers in Bleecker Bob's?
I mean, probably, I guess.
Freaks,
of course.
I
Absolutely.
don't know that one. Oh man. And Amy Lou is here. Said I have.
Oh, hey, Amy. How are you?
Got you watch Georgie inviting people one by one over the phone.
Yeah. That is correct. Yes.
Amazing. So the first one, who were the hosts? What was the entertainment? Who was DJing? What was the lineup? And where was it? It was at Mother, right?
At Mother, 14th, right. Between 9th and Washington, Meatpacking District. We had, Formica was our MC. We had Georgie's band play, so that helped.
What was
the Downtowns? I think it should be on the back of the flyer that Justine sent you. Justine and I were the DJs on the main floor, and Johnny Craig was the guest DJ.
Is that Justine?
Yes, that is
hello.
Justine. Hi, Justine.
So you can help with any of the details.
Yeah, Justine, feel free. Even though I have the Downtowns.
The Downtowns, cool. Sounds like a rock and roll band.
And it was very that. Let's see. I don't know if we had a host that night. Not, obviously there were still certain aspects of the party that we were figuring out. Hi. And there was only one show, but I do remember what the format that we used. We kept it for the next 7 years, meaning the band would never go on past 12 o'clock. That was the absolute latest it went on, because we were, we wanted to let everybody know that this was primarily a dance party,
right.
And the show was just like a little extra, like a table setter. But the real show were the kids dancing. That was the real show.
I have a question.
Yes.
I think you said this was like the first, let's see, like logo for the party.
That was the first invite. Yes.
Whose mouth is this? Well, how did this happen? And what's the story behind this?
I think I had sort of an idea of the visual, and I knew that it had to be something very strong. And I picked Lips. I don't know if I picked Lips because, like the Stones or Rocky Horror or anything like that, or because it had a sexual connotation. But
all of the above.
Yes. and then we stuck with it. We were like, let's just always have that be our insignia. We'd use different ones, as I'm sure you will be displaying, but it kind of it works with the name of the party, shall we say?
Right. Do you know whose mouth this is?
I don't actually. It's not
That's
mine.
interesting.
If anyone's
Christine,
wondering.
anyone know? That's an interesting trivia question.
This is Celsius, ladies and gentlemen.
Celsius, awesome. No, yeah, Celsius, sponsor me. I'll take it.
Any other questions?
Yeah, let's see. Let me go back to the top here. Antonio's here. Can get my snacks for story time. Yes, I hope you got your snacks. Let us know in the comments what snacks you're eating or what you're drinking.
No, that. Hi.
Yes, hello. Glampires can be a coven, right? Sure. I mean,
yeah, we're not talking about that. So what's next?
I was lucky enough to not only attend Man 6 mofo parties, but I also got to work at the mailing list.
Oh my God, that's right. You did do our mailing list. I forgot about that. Didn't you work with Amy Lou? Andy Shaw did all of our.
Oh, Andy, I love Andy. He married a girl I went to high school with.
You went to I'd say that again?
I went to high school with his wife.
Oh, God,
yeah.
small world.
I know, very small world. But I knew them separately first, so it was cool.
Okay, Justine is here.
Yes, I know. I'm going backwards, so.
Hi, Brenda.
Hello.
That's my daughters.
Christine, Michael,
Hi,
Romeo.
Michael.
Bleaker. Yeah, okay.
We really, Antonio, I can't with these questions.
Okay. Yeah, and keep them coming, guys, because I don't always know the right questions
to about Bleaker Bobs.
That's right. So then tell me, how did the party develop from there? Like what was the next one and how often was the party?
Well, so what ended up happening in terms of what one of the features that became adjacent to the party was by accident, by necessity. When we booked the first party at Mother, of course, we said we have to see how it works. If it works out, we'll do 3 for the summer. We'll do Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day weekend. As fate would have it, a few weeks later, I was at Jackie 60, which is where, which is how everything started to do with Mother. Jackie 60 was around, oh my God, I want to say 1990. And that Johnny and Chi-Chi owned Mother, but before they owned the club, they had the party, Jackie 60, at the venue on Tuesdays. So anyway, I was at it was, I want to say, probably a Jackie Awards show. And at one point during the ceremony, Chi-Chi announces that due to rising rents, imagine that in 2000 already, that they were not going to continue. They weren't going to sign a new lease. And so they were going to close at the end of June. So suddenly we were in a situation that we had now this great opening night and didn't have, we didn't have a venue because nobody knew that.
So it only happened one time at that venue?
Correct.
Interesting.
Correct. So luckily we had all been in the business for a while, and we start wondering, like, where can we take this, that and the other. And we were very adamant about a lot of things from the start, and one of those details was that we needed to have either 2 floors or 2 rooms, so there were always 2 sets of music, of styles of music. But again, we're a new party, so we know that we don't want to be overly ambitious as to where we're going to have this party held, but we know that it can't be like at a bar because it's definitely a party. And Georgie says to me, so Brooke Webster, who owned this great venue, a lesbian club called Meow Mix, but still a little bit mixed, said they're going to open the downstairs. Now, this had been the rumor mill for quite some time. And I think I remember talking to Justine. I was like, So the second floor, or the bottom floor, is going to open at Meow Mix. We had been hearing that for about a year, and Georgie was like, no, it's really happening. So I called Brooke, the owner, and I said, I hear your downstairs is really going to open. Is this true? And she says, yes, come and see it. So, we schedule an appointment. Sure enough, it's there. It looks great. And we do the second party at Meow Mix, which was on Houston and Norfolk, or, right around there. And I always say that although the birth of Motherfucker occurred at Mother, we would not have continued if it wasn't for Brooke Webster, hands down, because we had no place to throw the party. So thank you, Brooke.
Excellent. Do you know if any of these spaces continue to be venues, like different venues to this day, or
I'm not
they
sure.
must be something now, right?
Right. I'm not sure what Mother is. I think Meow Mix is probably some bar. I don't think it's a club per se anymore. And then the third place we did it was a venue called True, which had already been a couple of different things. And that was in the no man's land of 23rd Street and Madison.
What?
Yes. Especially back then, right across the street
and Madison.
So kind of Flatiron, across the street from Madison Square Park, not Garden.
Yeah. 23rd, isn't that Chelsea Hotel and Gramercy Theater?
Gramercy, so East Side, but like nothing was there. Nothing was there. And again, we were ballsy, like getting people sort of out of the comfort zone. That was the first test with that. Doing it at Mother Meatpacking District, 14th Street. Doing it East Village, Lower East Side, obviously. Doing it on 23rd and Madison. It's like, are people actually going to come? And, and they did.
Hey, wherever the event is, you got to make it happening.
Exactly. Yeah. But so the whole thing of moving around, that happened due to Mother, because they were closing, and they did on June 30th in 2000.
Gotcha. Yeah, and we'll get into some of the other venues a little bit later. Let's see what's going on here. Yes, Shaw Promotion. Yes, I saw him recently playing a band. He was covering all Patti Smith songs for Halloween. It was fun.
Really?
He's still jumping around like he's
Oh, he looks
still doing
great.
the thing.
Yeah,
and he's doing his banjo thing with his kid. It's really cute. Yes, Jenna, who did the Nouveau parties. Yes, I also went to high school with Mike Nouveau. So that's some interesting stuff going on here in Rockland, moving to the city. Rocky influences with the lip.
Yes. Hi, Marianne.
Hello, Cher. Nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Johnny and Chi.
Yes.
Let's see. Amy Lou says, we would stand outside concerts and other parties and hand out flyers to promote the party. We spent hours stamping the flyers with Shaw promo logos on.
That is all correct.
Wow.
Yes. And
So
that was a lot of work.
Yeah, that sounds taxing. Now it's just like you press a couple buttons, I think Giuliani was in office. I think he changed the nightlife. Well, let me ask you, did Giuliani change the nightlife?
I mean, he certainly made it more difficult, if that's what that question was implying.
How so?
Well, I mean, he's a fucking piece of shit. I mean, can we start there?
Yes, we can start there.
And it just clamped down on dancing, on just the whole quality of life started with Giuliani, and he really took aim at nightlife, because nightlife is undesirable. So
the cabaret law, right? He was using that.
Just anything. But New York at that time still had definitely a sense of lawlessness, and see, people forget, prior to 9/11, Giuliani finally, like all his antics, people were just getting sick of it. So we happened to start the party during this time that no one really knew where things were headed. I mean, it was a new decade, it was a new century, and it was definitely like anyone of a certain age saw already some of the differences that were occurring in the city, but the city hadn't been completely homogenized as it is today. So it still had, I mean, that's why we did, for example, if you did a holiday party now in New York City, at least for what we did, I don't think it would be very successful because a lot of people leave now. No one left back then. Nobody had money. So the little money that they had, they would stay in town and have a good time and make the best of it. Any other questions down there?
Yeah, let's see. Amy Lou got to see Mofo at Meow Mix. That's very cool. This is amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Hit a like. Everyone like this
Very
right now.
random. Yes.
Very random. Yeah. 23rd Street. Interesting. I think Mother turned into a gentleman's club. Really? Well, I think we need to go investigate that. Yes, he made it more difficult to have dance parties at Club Lit. I was told if the lights flickered on and off in the basement, that meant the police were raiding and to stop dancing. Oh, that's really weird.
Yeah. A lot of the venues, that would, let's say, have a dance floor, they'd have them, but technically they didn't have a cabaret license, whatever.
Right. I know, which is such I did see, what I saw rated for that once was Rafifi.
Yeah.
I was there. I was like, what is happening? This is so weird.
And
did you ever get raided?
Oh, yeah, we did. Do we want to jump around with the storyline?
Sure. Let's jump around. Let's jump around.
Actually, Justine, are you still there? Because she's still there. Is she commenting?
I'm not sure. I hope she's still there.
Well, I'll begin.
Yes.
So
she says Roxy.
No, wait, no. Don't hold your horses. We're not there yet. We had a previous one.
Yes.
So Justine was on the cover of Time Out New York a few days before one of the motherfucker parties. And this was at the height of us doing the party the most frequent, which was not that frequent. We were up to about 7-8 times a year. And we were stretching the definition of holiday party by doing a party on Good Friday.
Hey, why not?
So as she pops her collar, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope you had a confessional booth.
Oh, there's always one of those. Anyway, so I remember, so this was at Downtime, which is Batcave, which has been a million things on 30th
the
Street.
Albion Batcave. Yes. And then it was Arena for a while.
Yeah, a bunch of things. At the time, it was Downtime. And it's actually where we had, I want to preface this. We had our 1-year anniversary there. When we did the 1-year anniversary at Downtime, it was truly a graduation because by the time we got to that party, it was party number 7. And this is now 2001, pre 9/11, because it's May. And when I went to see the venue, they added something to the club. It was much bigger than its original formation version. And I went back to my partners, Justine and Johnny and Georgie, and I said, well, somehow we're going to need an additional 200 to 300 people in order to make this happen. To make this happen that it makes sense with the venue that we're at.
Right, because this was when it was like 2 floors and each floor was like 2 rooms.
So there was the bottom floor, which was the band room with the weird angle stage. Then there was the mezzanine. Then
Yeah.
there was the upstairs, and the upstairs had the small room to the right.
Right.
And then suddenly they had this enormous dance floor. That's the part that was new. That wasn't there before in the very, very beginning. So we're talking about 3 separate rooms plus a mezzanine. So it's a lot. And they were very honest with me. They said, if you have 500 people or so, they were like, it won't be terrible, but it's clearly not going to be enough. And I told everybody that, and it was a risk, but we did it. And we ended up having, for that party, 825. Nice. Opening night, we had 400 for the record. And the Realistics played, right, Justine? Dennis's band, this was. So fast forward, getting rated. Justine was on the cover of Time Out New York. We're doing it at a downtime. It's probably maybe the first time we've done the party on a Friday, because would usually fall on a Sunday. And when I tell you that it's jam-packed, the Realistics, yes.
And is this true? We got we have to tag.
Yes, we're going.
That's a different night.
Yeah, we didn't.
Okay, yeah. Don't worry, we're gonna talk about Andrew WK.
The same night. I don't even remember if we had a band that night. I think we did. I think maybe. Yeah,
the Realistics, right?
No. So now I'm moving beyond that. Sorry.
Oh,
now we're talking about getting rated.
Right.
And so it's a Friday night. It is like, you know how I think is it in Japan where they shove everybody into the subways so there's not like 1 inch left.
Right.
That's how it felt inside. It wasn't very comfortable. I guess somebody called the fire department, and suddenly we had to stop the music. It's the middle, it's like the peak of the party in terms of the hour. It's not like they rated us at 3 a.m.
Right.
And so the fire chief or whatever, he's now in the manager's office, and I'm in my full regalia. Sequins, silver sequins, marabou feather coat, a fishnet top, knee-high stiletto boots, all this madness. And and of course, out of my mind on ecstasy. So
right, great.
I'm having this conversation, and he said, and I asked, I said, "So are you gonna shut us down?" He goes, "No, just some people have to leave." I'm thinking, and how is that gonna happen? He goes, "Well, you gotta figure out. You gotta tell some people to go." So I have to go into the DJ booth in my state of mind, and the DJ booth, of course, it's a caged DJ booth, and I get on the mic and I start. So we have this problem. We kind of have to. Some of you have to go, but some of you can stay. And some of you, not very coherent, and people are sort of milling about, and I mean, it was just so ridiculous and comical. It's comical now; it wasn't comical at the time. And I think people that were really kind of getting what I was saying, and just the whole situation, what was going on, and also our doorman Thomas, as people were leaving, he would tell them, "Go around the corner." Go around the corner.
Walk around the block. Come
yeah,
back,
right.
Yeah.
And true to his word, the fire chief, he didn't shut us down. We, finally it was a little emptier, and we were able to start. I mean, that's one of several calamities that we would face in throwing this party. So yeah, that was one version. We'll get to the other closing one a little bit later.
Okay.
Any other questions there?
Well, I mean, I want to ask, just in following up on the first year, what other milestones or entertainment or cool stories do you have about the first year?
Um. Okay. I have a. We had the first New Year's Eve was very funny. We skipped Halloween that year. We
skipped
did.
Halloween.
I know. Go figure. It was.
You must have done something though.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. I couldn't tell you what it was, but we did Thanksgiving Eve. We did that at True, and the funny place on 23rd. And then we were like, let's do New Year's Eve. Now, I don't recall how this idea came about, but either, but whatever. Johnny owns Niagara on 7th and A, and they had a little downstairs.
That was around back then?
Yeah, Niagara opened in the 90s.
Okay, because I know before that it was 7A, right?
No, that was the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, before that it was King Tut. Wow, King Tut's Walla Hut, actually. And that you were going way back.
Okay. Well, this is the kind of history I like, the New York history, of clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Niagara Bar, yes.
Yes.
Big, well, probably wasn't there yet, but Joe Strummer mural on the side.
Right.
I don't think he probably wasn't dead yet.
No, I don't think so. So Johnny, so they had a buyout until 2:00, meaning it was a private party. But then after that, they were going to be open for business for anyone that wanted to come. And on New Year's Eve, you're able to get an extended liquor license. So it's the only night of the year that New York isn't a dry town. So meaning, since we're only dry for 4 hours from 4 a.m. to 8, you get.
Is that true? Really? You can start drinking again at 8:00?
Yes.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, when New York was different, those Irish bars would open at 8:00.
Wow.
And I'm being stereotypical here, but
yeah, that's okay.
So I remember that we all had, I think, gigs, and I was coming from a strange gig, like the Upper East Side or something. And anyway, we are starting at 2:00 and we're going to go till 8. Abby Eamon, who was part of Click and Drag fetish stuff, also from Mother, she did the flyer that night. And it was a tiny flyer. And for whatever reason, we called it the mini me motherfucker. So it was a little flyer, and it ended up not being mini nothing. The line went from picture Niagara, it's right off A and 7th, went all the way east to Avenue B. And somehow we managed to get all those people inside. I remember Justine and I, the DJ booth downstairs is like, there's the camera. It's very small. And we could not move. It was yet like another fire trap waiting to happen. But luckily,
well, Niagara Bar is small.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a funny night.
Was there any performer or anything? Just
no,
just
that night was just it was
come and be weird.
We started at 2:00. No.
Yeah, for sure.
I think somebody wanted something about Andrew WK.
Well, okay, yes, we did. That was mentioned. I have a picture here. Let me see if I can find it. And then, I have all these pictures. They're all out of order, but I'm fascinated endlessly with this man, Andrew WK. I don't know if you know anything about the lore of this person, but I know you hosted him for a performance. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well,
and you probably just know him from the nightlife too, right? Like he owned Santos and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I knew him very vague. I knew his wife a little bit better. This is an amazing photo. God, wow. Miss Guy, Deborah Harry, and Theo Kogan with Andrew WK.
From the Lunatics?
Yes, from the Lunatics. And that would have been Memorial Day weekend 2002. That's obviously backstage. That's a gorgeous photo. When we when we were, getting ready to do the 2-year anniversary, similarly to when we did the 1 year, we were trying to find a venue the right size. I want to say at this point we had definitely broken 1,000, but whatever. It still wasn't. We would go from the upper hundreds to around whatever. And I wanted to do the party at Eugene's, which was another venue by Flatiron. I don't know. I was drawn to that area for some reason. It was actually a beautiful club, and we knew the booker. His name was Andy, English gentleman, and I don't know why it wasn't available. And then Andy, the same people that own Eugene's owned the Roxy. So Andy said, well, why don't you do it at the Roxy? I had been to the Roxy many times, and the Roxy, legendary New York City club, and also extremely big. Their legal capacity, 2,250 about. That's legal.
Yeah.
And I just said to my partners, I'm like, we don't have that many people. That's insane. And then, the people at the Roxy, they were like, look, we can kind of smoke and mirror the room a little bit, put some furniture here, not have the actual dance floor go all the way out type of thing. And then, of course, we knew that we needed an act, like a big act. And he was at his peak at that point.
Yeah, for sure.
The infamous or iconic, rather, album cover with the blood, nose, the face shot. And Johnny T, who would do a lot of the band bookings, as did Justine, I think he was the one who was a liaison with that. And he's like, well, we can make it happen, and it's going to cost $5,000. And again, I remember Justine and I being like, oh, wow, it's a new ball game. 5,000 for a 30-minute show. And
just for him or for the whole venue?
Oh no, that was his fee.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, let's do it. And he went on, and Formica emceed, and it was just we were just so like, God, is this gonna work? And he was the perfect act for that night, because obviously he helped with the draw, and his show was so energetic. I mean, it wasn't really my cup of tea per se, but I can still appreciate it for what it was and what it did. And it he was great. He was great. The kids were going nuts. And then it was time to DJ. Now, at this point, I had been DJing for a long time, as was Justine. And of course, we were used to DJing our party. But DJing at the Roxy was a very different animal. First of all, the dance floor was so far removed from the DJ booth. So the energy that you would normally get from the audience was just not as intimate, as automatic, and you're really just looking at the scope of the venue, and it's so large. And it's like there is no room for error. You have whatever 600-700 people that you have to entertain from that moment on for the rest of the night. And
everyone must have been like sweaty, and was it more of like a concert experience until the dance party with Andrew WK?
Well, I mean, again, because the shows would always end around 12:30. Most people wouldn't even arrive until 11:30. They would maybe get there a little bit early once it was a big act. So that was probably the first time that happened. But then it's just the energy of a concert versus a dance party. And that shift, like today, here, I'll give you another example of what you see today. Today, there's a concert. The club doesn't have to close. As soon as the concert's done, everybody, go exits. We were like, no, this is a concert is just like a little added addition. We're the main event, meaning it's a dance party first and foremost. But that as the sort of acts became bigger, that transition we really had to be just
right
from moment one. And that was the first time that we were experiencing that again, a brand new experience on the spot. And to add even more sort of anxiety to it was the fact that we were in the largest venue we ended up ever doing the party at. But again, it worked. We survived, and we ended up, that party we drew 1,400.
Nice.
That was the number for that one. Any questions there?
Yeah, let's catch up on the chat. Let's see. People have been chatting here. Downtime was the best. Yes, I know, Robert. I'm gonna get to your question in a little bit because that's a little later in the story. Brian Crest says, I remember the person who called the police on the night of the Downtime party. He wanted a refund because it was too crowded.
Oh, wow.
Who was it? Dox him. No, just
I didn't
kidding.
even know that.
So did you even know who had called the police?
God, no.
Yeah.
I would have thrown them in front of a truck or something.
Right. Yeah.
No.
That's crazy. Doorman, love the doorman Thomas. He always made sure the club kids skipped the line and walked straight.
Yes, that is correct. Well, we did have a dress code.
Right, that's fair. What was your dress code?
Well, the first, we would have different little suggestions per party, but the first one was something. Think Jagger 72. Deborah Harry or Blondie, Thin White Duke. That was the first one. So, and then there was always something in each flyer. We knew that dressing up was only going to enhance the party. The party, in a sense, at least for me, was like a mini movie, and everyone was cast to play a particular part. And, you had to be responsible for your own character, if you will.
Yeah.
And if you didn't take the time or made the effort, then sometimes you wouldn't get in because Thomas wouldn't pick you, or you'd wait longer. And sometimes not, not all the times, but that was definitely part of what made, part of the alchemy.
Sure, yeah, the characters. That's why I always love taking pictures of the crowd more than like the actual entertainment, because I think that's what the party really is. That's what makes a scene. As he always took care of us young punks. Thomas, yay! What's he doing these days?
Those Irish bars.
Sounds like someone who might know. Thomas was great at the door. So lots of love for Thomas here. I was at the Mofo. Jaco was go-go dancing on a box in the basement, and that's when I fell in love with go-go dancing. Oh, great.
Okay, what else do we have?
I remember the Tiki DJ booth.
Oh, that was it. He's so tiny, yes.
Yeah. Niagara, yes. Right. 7A was across the street. Okay, gotcha. At the Roxy.
Yes.
Love the Roxy. Used to be a roller rink.
Yes,
yeah, I was talking about
it never stopped being a roller rink. They still had, I think it was Tuesdays or Wednesdays when they would have roller skating, but yes.
Isn't it like condos now or something?
I mean, yeah, probably something.
How do you feel New York City nightlife has metamorphed?
That's too hard of a question.
I don't know how to pronounce that word. That's too much. That's too much.
Yeah.
All right. What?
So that's 25 years. Yeah.
What brought the four of you together?
Good question. As I said in the beginning, when I thought of the concept, I knew that I had to pick. I knew that I couldn't do it alone, and what I was envisioning about getting the different subsects, I knew that each person that I asked had to be connected to that particular group to a degree. So I had, I had a few people in my head. Georgie Seville was the first person I told. So I obviously from the get-go wanted Georgie to be involved. That I know for sure. And then, what made me ended up asking Justine and Johnny, I'm not 100% sure, but I guess it's what felt right. And it was obviously the right decision,
Yeah.
I hope that kind of answered the question.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, here's a rephrased question. How do you think New York City nightlife has metamorphosized since Motherfucker? Or like what's different now compared to back then?
I mean, everything is
basically?
different now. I mean, it's an
Yeah.
entirely different city. That's why it's too many years. It's like asking me, what is 1960 compared to 1985?
Is it like harder or easier to promote parties
Oh
now?
God! I mean, at least for someone of my age,
Mhm.
it's I mean, it's just a different world. I'm from the generation of where a party was promoted via flyers. You would go out and you literally would give them to people, or you would hire someone to do that.
Yeah, street teams they call them, right?
Yes, that's correct. That is correct. And phone calls and all of that, but it was really, as the saying goes, word of mouth. If somehow you manage to get sort of this word of mouth about an event coming up, that was your best asset, hands down. And that's what we had, especially in the beginning. And then, of course, as the party progressed, things started to.
We doxed Lars. I'm sorry, Lars.
Name was Lars. That's the idiot that called the police, Brian.
Wow. Don't let any Lars into your clubs, guys. No, just kidding.
No. Hopefully Lars is Mars or something.
Yeah. Were you still able to make a profit? Financials.
We never lost money miraculously. We wouldn't sometimes make a lot of money due to our various expenses. And of course, when situations like that occurred, that clearly affected negatively what the outcome of the revenue should have been, which, by the way, we keep talking about Thomas, but at downtime, always, Mandana was our cashier, and Mandana was a gem, as so many people that were involved with the party. And that is key to having also a successful event, a staff that is really there with you in every sense, that is responsible, that is honest, that goes the extra mile. As for that particular night, and I guess in general, we made a profit, but we were never a party that
that wasn't the main goal.
Well, I mean, we certainly,
you don't want to lose money, but like
right. But it's like sometimes you have to make certain sacrifices in order to ensure that the integrity of the party stays in place, and sometimes that ends up costing you a bit more, but there is an exchange that goes along with that.
Yes, and shout out Mandana and her husband Sean, one of my best clients. I'm at the Red Party every Saturday. If you want a good picture, you know where to show up. I will take your picture at the Red Party. And thank you, Sean and Mandana. I love them. I was at the first Red Party 18 years ago.
Oh, see, there you go. 18 years ago. That's crazy. Oh my God, that's 2007. No, 8.
Yeah.
And Brian, who has been giving us information, Brian actually was our first cashier. He also did our website at the time. I don't think that's still around.
Wait, was it motherfucker.com?
Brian, do you remember what it was?
Brian, yes, give us the info, because that would have been an interesting URL. In the meantime, let's see. Yes, I soon we're gonna get to the pictures. I'm gonna breeze through all the pictures. I got lots of flyers. I know that one's in there. Yeah, dress
Yeah.
code. Make an effort, fuckers. Think Kinks, New York Doll, Generation X, and the Pretenders. Yeah, exactly. Exactly how you would imagine, right?
Correct.
Urban Decay offered rock and roll
Oh,
makeovers.
that was always
What
so
was
great.
that? Really?
So
that's great.
Again, because the whole dressing up thing and all of
Glitter
that.
always works, guys.
Yes, yes. We, for most of the parties, we always had a makeup station, especially once we were in venues, and we would make jokes like, well, if you didn't have time to finish getting ready at home, you can finish getting ready at Motherfucker. Or if you feel that you need more makeup, and who doesn't want more makeup, ladies and gentlemen, we gave you the opportunity to put on more pancake on your face.
Perfect. Yeah, every party should have a makeup. Yeah, I know someone who does that at the House of Yes. Like, it's a good idea.
It is.
Which I've actually never been to, but I know about it. I got to go to a party there one night. There was a late night screening of Squeezebox, the movie.
Cool. I don't think there was there an actual screening of the film, or just
Maybe
a trailer?
Right.
I think just the trailer.
Grassroots marketing, yes. What was that in response to? Motherfucker.com?
There was no social media in the beginning. No, there was not.
Like, you must have into the
there was a
MySpace era,
transition
right?
from when we started to kind of in the middle to the end. When the party ended, like, it was the beginning of people leaving MySpace into Facebook, but they were still kind of even. People were from cell phone to BlackBerry. The shift hadn't happened entirely. I would say that probably was even more evident by the time we got to 2009, 10, and so forth. But already between let's say 2005, 6, 7 versus 2000, a very different world started to form. And there wasn't even Friendster when we started.
Right. I remember,
Oh, okay.
I remember Friendster.
Yeah, no MySpace. We did do
Makeoutclub.com.
Pardon?
Makeoutclub.com, anybody?
Yeah. Oh my God, wasn't that Gibby?
I don't know. That was like an early sort of social media, like
I think we definitely had some affiliation with that. I'm pretty sure that was Gibby.
I bet.
Trying to think. I mean, again,
that was Gibby's party. No, this was a I mean, there was a website. I don't know if the party was involved with the website.
I haven't lost it just yet.
Right. Okay, he owned it. Yeah, that was like an early social media sort of.
Yes. I actually DJ'd at Gibby's
cool
party in Boston once or twice.
Nice. Let's see. We got a follow up on the makeup. Tony and Tina Cosmetics offered glitter dusting at the door on a Don't say that. Don't broadcast your crimes here. Or do. It makes good content. It's cool. Allegedly. So let me ask you this, and then we'll get into some pictures, and then we can land this plane. How about that? Why did the party end? Like, maybe a lot of
I don't want to answer that question now. No.
How or why or no? Okay, well then let me skip to this one. This was, I was going to ask this anyways, but somebody did ask it in the chat if I can find it. What are some of the notable bands that performed at Motherfucker over the years? And Justine did provide a list in the comments.
Oh, good.
You want to
we see that? Yeah,
of course.
Thank
the Cramps,
you.
The New York Dolls, Block Party, The Rapture, Hot Chip, The Bravery, Morningwood. Okay, yeah. And so let me ask you this in relation to this. I feel like this was sort of like the emergence of a whole new scene, and you kind of like had these bands either right before they broke out, or like, for example, the Cramps kind of paying tribute to the past.
Well,
and can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean,
ahead of the curve is what I'm saying.
Yes, and I think it's like everything in life, it's timing. When we started, I mean, yes, I had a concept for the party, but clearly the party had its influences. I mean, I was greatly influenced by, Squeezebox, Green Door, Disco 2000, Jackie 60, and Tiswas, which was the party that was really doing well at the time when we started. Squeezebox and Green Door, they were sort of entering the sunset of their legacy. Jackie ended minus a few special events once the club closed on a weekly basis. What was the other one Disco 2000 was obviously something from, the Club Kid days.
Right, that's Michael Ellig, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And when it started in 2000, it was sort of what was in vogue at the time musically were like a lot of sort of that horrible like new metal nonsense, which we definitely did not play. Right. No influence there. And all the sort of pop bands and the Britneys and the
Christina's,
all that stuff. So there wasn't really much happening, and I mean, Justine was the youngest out of the four of us, so we were definitely paying tribute to what came before our time, what we grew up with, and by coming in this sort of twilight period, it was good because like as we were finding our footing, it just we sort of evolved, and then with like in response to those bands, obviously all that started with the Strokes. I mean, the Strokes played at Tiswas. They would hang out there. They even came to one of my parties at Bar 13. Unfortunately, we were never able to book them. I know we tried, but that was the
that was like the scene coming up.
Yeah.
The yes. Did you ever have that?
And then on the sort of more dance side or opposite side was of course Electroclash.
Right.
So there was so two things happened roughly around the start of the decade as we did. So it was just that perfect synchronicity that you can't plan. It happens. I don't, maybe I went on a tangent. I don't know if that helped.
No, that's okay. That's what we're here for.
But as far as the bookings of the band, that was definitely something that Justine and Johnny, that was what they really excelled at. That was not my department.
You tried to book the yes,
but they blew up. Yes. Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, let's look at some pictures and see if there's anything that catches your eye that you want to talk about. Pictures and flyers. How about that? This is the fun part, guys. We're gonna see Michael's ass.
No, that's not my ass.
That's not you?
No.
Who is that?
No. I'm not sure who that is.
I thought it was you.
No, but thank you.
Do you know what venue this was?
Hold on. Oh God. I don't actually. It looks like Downtime, but it could be Spirit.
That's Christine the Go-Go.
Oh, we love Christine. Christine was gorgeous.
Excellent. Yeah, I can tell. That was the Roxy.
The Roxy. Okay.
Cool.
What else we have?
Let's see. Who's this?
That is. Give me a second. Oh, hold on. I know this. Oh,
a character for sure.
No. Wait a minute. I'm gonna check my phone. I'm
Justine.
No, she's not gonna. Well,
no.
God.
I'm gonna get you in trouble now.
On the spot.
Someone fabulous for sure.
Yeah, and I feel terrible that I'm not remembering the name now. Let's.
Well, if it comes back to you, yeah.
That's Astro Earl.
Nice.
So.
See some glitter, some cool costumes.
I don't know who these characters are.
But just, the general vibe.
Yes. Well,
there you are. Nice. I like that picture. Did you have any like house photographers or like who was documenting this scene? That's what I want to know.
So again, yet another thing that evolved when we started the party, or as the party continued. Well, that's the cramps. Let's hold on there.
All right, yeah, let's come back to that in a minute.
Oh, okay. I don't know when the first kind of house photographer came about, or who it was exactly, but some of the early names. I am going to look at my phone now, so give me 1 second, because Justine texted this to me.
Okay.
Almost there. Here we go. Alex Thompson, he was definitely one of the first, if not possibly. Merlin, also known as Bronx, Last Night's Party.
Right, I remember that site. Yeah.
Yeah. Bronx was a machine. Thank you. Yeah, I'm
Nicky Digital, right? Yeah, of course. I think he took my picture probably at least once.
Oh, I'm sure more than once.
Probably at your party.
Nicola. Justine, do you remember oh god, what is Nicky Digital's site? Doesn't it have a name?
I forget. Yeah. I would have believed it was one last party or whatever you just said.
No, that was Bronx.
Okay.
But
I think it was just Nicky Digital. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it has a name. I'm looking. I'm seeing the graphic in my head, but I mean, it was great, and obviously it was amazing promotion.
Like, was that something you thought of, like, about going into it? It was like, how do we document this, or was that like an afterthought? Just kind of happened naturally.
I think it happened a little organically again, because it just sort of coincided with all these photographers. I mean, there are always photographers in part that there's always, but because then of the internet, the immediacy of the photos was then, if not overnight, certainly very close to that. Once they uploaded everything, did a little bit of editing, and voila, and they would tell us, okay, we're gonna the photos are going up at this time.
Hello, welcome. Well, you can go back and watch the rest some other time. Zarjazentupolo. What is that? Oh, you're just saying hi.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought that was a photographer. Okay, so we got to talk about the cramps. I mean, that must have been incredible. Tell me about the cramps playing at your party.
Wow.
I definitely had a flyer for this, if not still in my box in my closet somewhere. I think I was handed a flyer for this at McCarran Park Pool.
At where?
McCarran Park Pool.
Oh, okay.
Like, they were doing shows there.
Right. Yes. Did Justine send you the flyer for Motherfucker, or no? I mean, for that.
I have the flyers after the pictures, I think.
Oh, okay.
So we'll get to that.
So this was 2006. So obviously we had been running for quite some time, and that whole year
for sure
of life. Yeah, that is 100% true, accurate. We there was a movie that was being filmed on the party. Unfortunately, the movie had ended, I think, the party before, meaning that the time span that they were filming us.
Oh,
yeah, it was a huge disappointment that we weren't able to get them. But I remember I was in LA, vacation / gigs, and so the way that it would work, so to give people better an idea, the average amount of parties that we did was about 6 times a year. So we always did, and I'll do it in order because it's easier. So New Year's Eve, President's Day weekend, that's Feb. Then the anniversary, May, that would be the biggest sort of time span. 4th of July, Labor Day weekend, and Halloween. we in the beginning we did Thanksgiving Eve, and then we stopped, and then
Memorial Day, right?
well, yeah, Memorial Day is the anniversary, yeah.
Right, gotcha.
And we did probably 2 of those Good Friday ones, and then I think we scaled it back to like 6 or 7. So yes, so the party prior to this was in July, and somewhere in there, the whole thing of the cramps started to come up, and what Justine typed. When you have that full circle moment in your life, like something that impacted you so much as a kid, and then suddenly, you know, like this road that you've taken with certain influences throughout, suddenly is literally part of your life, even though it's brief, but it's actually there. It's you know, in real time, in real life. So
how many times had you seen them live before this?
So the Cramps, great question. The only person that I've seen more than the Cramps was Bowie. I saw the Cramps
over an hour, and we finally mentioned Bowie.
Well, not really. I've been wearing a Bowie t-shirt.
Okay, gotcha.
But I saw the first time I saw the Cramps was in 1986 at the Ritz.
Wow.
I think the second time was
the Ritz, and that became Webster Hall, right?
Yeah. The second time was 90-ish at Roseland. I know that I saw them.
R.I.P. Roseland.
Yes, another one. I know when Justine was with me, we went to see them at Irving Plaza.
That's still there, guys. That one's still there.
Yeah. Just went there for Night of 1,000 Stevies a couple of weeks ago, which is its origins are Jackie 60 and Mother and so forth. I'm trying. I feel like I saw them somewhere else, but anyway, the conversation started, and then we just it's like an unbelievable thing to think that this is actually happening, that the Cramps, because the Cramps by that point weren't really playing that often. I mean, I think they always did Halloween in San Francisco, because I believe, you know, Lux and Ivy were West Coast. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah. When Andy got, you know, when we made the flyers and all that, we'd always obviously ask him, how's the response? You know, what do people think? And he goes, the way that people are responding to the Cramps is just nuts, which is of course what we expected, but it's nice to hear. And that night, that was the most crowded and the most expensive party we ever threw. At one point the doors had to stop, you know, the cops came and we couldn't let any more people in. But throughout the course of the night, I think there were about 3,000 people that came in.
Wow.
The party was very expensive. I don't want to say the number because I think that's a little tacky, but it was a lot.
More than Andrew WK?
Oh, please. So, but it was also like unanimously it was the peak of the mountain, you know, out of all the bands that we always wanted to play Motherfucker. And even that includes Bowie and whatever, the Cramps, because I think we all felt that the Cramps as a band, what they represented was in essence what Motherfucker was or aspired to be.
Sure. And
they put on a show for the ages that night.
Well, I'm hearing that the Cramps, Lux climbed to the top of the backdrop curtain.
Yes.
And he smashed a bottle of wine on the stage.
I didn't know that. I didn't know about the bottle of wine. The curtain
he climbed on it.
Oh yeah, and then he had like say wrap something, and so he was giving you like, let me see, so he was giving you like a babushka puppet realness moment, and it was so funny. And we were in the Justine and I I think all of us were in the DJ booth at Limelight, which is of course across the stage. And Sammy Yaffa from Hanoi
Oh,
Rock.
this was at the Limelight?
Yes.
Oh,
Which
wow.
was
That's
the
even
time.
cooler.
Oh, it was the perfect place for
yeah.
it. 100%. It was this is how specific we were. We were like, we could either do it at the Limelight or the Roxy because we knew it was going to be huge. But we just felt that, the Limelight made more sense with the Cramps for a million reasons.
Oh, no, I really wish I was there.
And yeah, they were incredible. They were incredible.
It was the last Cramps
Yes.
show before he passed. Yeah, I know. They were supposed to play at the bank or whatever the bank was at the time, but he died before the show could happen. So
correct.
I know there was a tribute band that night instead, and I was there, although I think I missed the tribute band. But that's as close as I got to seeing the Cramps.
I can't believe we've been talking over an hour.
Yeah, are you still good to do some pictures and then we'll
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's
okay,
fine.
Good.
I'm checking my phone.
Yeah, sure.
Oh wait. Hey, I tried to log in, but I don't have a link for this. Yes, it's still happening. I think Peppermint wants to join.
If we can get Peppermint the StreamYard link, they can join for sure.
Okay, so I'm sure anyone that's watching this, seeing me be technical, is very, very comical here.
Let's see. The Limelight was great, including the Dungeon SM room in the attic. I only got to go there when it was a mall, so I didn't get the full experience.
Really?
I've never been to a club night or a concert there. Yeah, but I used to work like right across the street from it. Again, like what was that on 23rd Street or right off 23rd Street?
6th Avenue between 20th and 21st on the west side of the block.
That sounds good. Yeah, it was kind of near the Chelsea Hotel.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I used to work at 2323rd Street. I had an internship there. I will never forget that address. And the Limelight was right around the block.
Okay,
or whatever it was
with
at the
Pep
time.
to see if she got it.
Well, let's see. Let's hope we get another guest. Who's this?
Is that ESG? No.
Could be. I'm not sure. Well, let's say it is.
That's Pep. That's Peppermint.
All right.
I hope she'll be joining us in a sec.
That would be exciting.
Some
kind of, is that? I don't know. Do you know?
No.
We have a confirmation on ESG.
Oh, ESG. Which one was
Hot Chip?
Oh, I despise them with a passion.
Oh,
an absolute fucking nightmare to deal with.
Good to know. I don't know. Are they even still a band? I haven't heard about them in a long time.
Hopefully not. They were, I think I called them lukewarm Chip. That's my
funny.
name for them.
Yeah.
That's Miranda Moondust.
Love that makeup. It's very Club Kid for sure.
Yes. That's T-Boy, a favorite of ours.
Love it.
Go-go dancer.
Love the green
he's
hair.
He's also a performer. He's a DJ. Amazing individual, visually and as a person.
Great. Are they still doing anything? Is that Dick
T-Boy? Yes. I don't know who this is. Oh wait, that's Richard. That's Handsome Dick, Manitoba.
Yeah.
So that must have been at Spirit.
I did meet him once. I filmed a show of his once.
Oh, okay.
At Berlin.
Oh, all
somewhat
right.
recently. Yeah. Interesting dude.
Yeah. What else? Oh, that's Theo, looking gorgeous. Let me see. Let me check.
That was like probably her post Lunatic stuff, right? I forget what the name of that band was.
Yeah, and I want to say
she was doing like a solo kind of project, I think. Right?
Yes, and
yeah.
Actually, we did a party called Rated X, a Panty Party for many years.
Right. Was that at Downhills?
It was at a few places. The first place was Opaline, which is now Drom.
Oh, okay.
And then it was at Scenic, which was
I'm at Drom all the time.
Right. It was at Scenic, which was actually Save the Robots on B between 3rd and 4th. And then
yes, Theo and the Skyscrapers. That's
right.
right.
Thank you. I'm
I did see the Lunatics reunion at Webster Hall. That was very
I was there too. That
awesome.
was an amazing show.
Yeah.
Then we ended up at Luke and Leroy's Rated X, and then we ended up at Don Hill's.
Right. I feel like I was at one of the Don Hill's ones. She was DJing. It was
that...
probably one of your parties.
Yeah, I don't.
Some band wearing 2 shirts.
I don't know who that is. That looks like Miranda Moondust again.
Excellent. I love the neon. That's Block Party, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was a great show.
Yeah. Where was this one?
I believe the Roxy, and I believe there was a huge snowstorm that night.
The Fever.
That is the Fever.
Cool.
Oh wow, God, I forgot about them.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's the one we picked for the flyer. I like the blue.
Yes.
It's blue like my eyes.
Yes, and that's probably Justine next to me. And that top was made by Craig Robinson, who designed many of my outfits.
Excellent. The Roxy is the answer. Thank you. We got all the fact checkers, and I love it. It's just some fabulous audience members here, and more fabulous. Someone's in the center there in a button-down shirt.
Yeah, but he seems to have kind of a mod haircut.
Yeah. Some fabulous shoes.
Yeah.
Some performer in the darkness.
Yeah,
Very vibey.
I'm gonna see if Peppermint.
Yeah, what's up with Peppermint?
Got the text, just about to log.
Loved Craig Robinson's designs.
Thank you. So I think Peppermint is about to join us.
Excellent. Yeah, when she's here.
Justine, did you like the way that I read lukewarm chip to filth?
Some bands, some fancy
that's
suits.
the Bravery, I think. And there's Pep again. And is that Johnny?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Thank you for
everybody.
being here.
How
Special
are
guest.
you?
Peppermint,
I'm
hello.
so good.
How are
Look at my hair.
you?
I'm gonna mess that.
Oh,
that was Morningwood.
Oh, that was Morningwood. Thank you, Amy Lee.
I saw them once with Mindless Self-Indulgence, who
they're
she
married.
later married. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, correct.
Peppermint, have you been watching the show? Do you have any insight into the motherfucker 25th anniversary celebration?
Well, before we get there, shouldn't we tell Kevin and everyone that's seeing, everyone, whomever that may be, where we met, Pep?
Where did you meet?
Oh my God! Yeah. Well, shall I do the honors?
Yes. I've been talking plenty.
Give Michael a break.
Now, I mean, 20, 30.
It was 98. 98.
It was 98. It was 98. So however many years ago that was.
Almost. Oh my God, that's almost
25
years. No
26,
more.
Almost 30.
27.
Well, in 3 years it'll be 30 years. 27 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
As
you can see, we're all very good at math here. Go ahead.
Yeah. How many people does it take to figure this out in 2 minutes? Anyway, we met at the Tunnel nightclub. Great big nightclub. They had a queer party, a queer night on Saturday nights.
A young queer party, curfew, hence the name.
Curfew, that's right, darling. And it was wild because like I guess I just heard like that's where all the queers and the freaks and everybody went. And so I ended up there. I was in acting school. So I was like 18 at the time. And I moved in and I'd already done a little bit of drag, but it was calling me. And then I loved that party was cool. What was particular about that party is like the Tunnel was massive. And the regular entrance, which was like $30 or something to get in, you could only go to like a third of the club. But
Celso was the name of the person.
Yeah.
Yes,
Celso.
right? with the photos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, was that
I
Celso
was
in the photo?
determined. Pardon?
I remember Celso. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. That was the first photo that I couldn't remember that I drew a blank. Kevin.
Okay.
We'll
Gotcha.
go back to it. So
Yeah,
we
sure.
could give her
Oh, and
proper
now I want to
credit.
see. I haven't seen a picture.
We were talking
of
about what photographers documented the parties.
And there was and Justine, of course, sent him some photos and sent a photo that I could remember, because anyway, go ahead, Peppermint.
Oh, gotcha. Right.
And so the gay entrance, you could go to, you had the whole club because there was a gay side and the straight side. You can go anywhere. So that was like a fun little, I was like, oh my gosh, there was people coming up, and at first I worked the door, but anyway, eventually they let me inside.
That's Celso.
Oh, there's Celso.
Yeah,
yeah,
gorgeous.
that's definitely Celso.
Excellent.
Who I don't really know, but yeah, I'd be interested to hear what Celso's up to these days. I think
Anyone know in the chat? Let us know.
Yeah, but Michael T was DJing in the Kenny Scharf room, in the legendary Kenny Scharf room. I think, did you
AKA the Fuzzy room? Bunny DJ'd before me, and then I would come in. My DJ set started at literally 2 a.m.
Okay, yeah. And so it was like, hi, oh my gosh, Brendan, hello. Between Bunny and Michael T, it was like the most inappropriately wonderful. The faggotry was faggotrying. That's the only way to say it. And so I was one of the girls, one of the young baby drag queens that worked there at the young college night curfew party. And we hit it off.
It was 18 plus to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it did have a separate entrance, but I never knew you did the door. Or
I did the door. That was my first gig there for like a couple of months. I did the door. Yeah. And I didn't work. I only went inside to get paid. Like I never really was inside.
Right. But then you and some of the other girls started to like occasionally perform, right? And
that was the trade-off, because like I don't even know how much I got paid to do the door. It was like they were getting one over on us. And then eventually I negotiated myself to, like, instead of me having to pay to get in, just let me come for free. Like, I thought that was a great idea.
Right.
Genius. Let me work for free all night. I'll work for free. And so
that should definitely be part of the deal. Yeah.
Exactly. I started hosting and just, walking around the club and having, just party girl. And then me and some of the other younger queens, we just, most of us were theater students. Surprise. And so we were like, and we knew we weren't going to get on the main stage. So we were like, let's see if we can do some of the things in the back room and in the fuzzy room in the gay party. And we did, and that was it. I mean, I don't remember what my first thing was, but Michael T was obviously our maestro and our DJ. And so it started with us just taking our music and asking, and, I'm sure.
Yes, that's right.
That was it. And then I don't even know. We were like friends right away. I feel like,
Yeah, I'm
every
also
week
like
for years.
Yeah. And I always kind of notice people that have something a little bit more, I guess, special. And I know that's somewhat of an arbitrary statement, but I felt that Peppermint, she was just exuding something, and obviously just a great person on top of that. And, in nightlife, you kind of have to pick people that are again, not going to be like, we're all headaches to a degree, but not to be a bigger headache than necessary, and again, Pep was like just a solid individual and a great entertainer as well, and our friendship just blossomed from that. And then actually Pep became the MC at Rated X, the panty party.
Probably I guess Tunnel, when do you think that was probably like 2004, 5?
What?
When I came
to Rated X?
for rated. Well,
yeah, Tana was
yeah, it
90s.
was like 2005 or 6.
No. It was a little bit before that. It was around
I don't
2004
even know.
because she started at Opaline with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was wild.
Yeah, and then all the subsequent places. And then we had several MCs at Motherfucker. Formica started to do them less. You know, sometimes she didn't want to be mistress anymore. And we always needed a strong personality to have that, you know, as that sort of main MC of the party. And as the party progressed, and of course, you know, Peppermint and I worked pretty frequently together. Peppermint did a lot of them, but we also had, you know, Lena do one. We had Candace Kane. Of course, we had Chi Chi, who, you know, birthed us, if you will. We had Linda Simpson. Who else? I mean, we once had Lady Bunny. All the girls, honey. All the girls.
Honey.
All the gals. Theo, of course. But trying to think where talk about if you have any particular memories regarding Mofo specifically.
Yeah, do you remember your first one?
Yeah, like I don't remember the first one you were at or were the MC, for example.
I don't remember the first one that I was, but I feel like the first one that I did was a I don't think there was that much notice, you know.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Surprise. I don't think there was that much notice. I mean, there was enough, like, you know, I was able to, I don't know, because I remember I got this outfit together that I still wouldn't wear to this day, but I took the outfit. I got the outfit. I didn't even get it made. I like made it myself.
Really?
For some American kind of holiday. So like,
then it must have been a 4th of July thing.
It must have been a 4th of July because it was red, white, and blue, and it was just like these like scraps of red, white, and blue fabric that I tied around my skirt and my, you know, I was like daring.
Yes.
And so I feel like a 4th of July might have been because I glued a star to my eye, which is not normally something I would do.
Right.
And that was a
that sounds right. All of that sounds right.
Yeah. But I think the most memorable one, of course, was the Halloween motherfucker, the infamous
that
Roxy.
one. Oh, yes, somebody asked about that earlier. Okay, so we
worked so hard. That was the most I'd ever put into a motherfucker party ahead of time because it was the biggest show that we'd ever kind of put together. And up until
you're talking about the padlock Roxy?
The padlock Roxy.
Yeah. Oh, there's a story in there. I need to hear it.
Okay.
We were going to do Halloween. And we were going to do a special performance of Thriller by Michael Jackson.
Yes. Yeah? But before we get into it, are there any questions that we want to like to see?
Oh, let's look at other questions.
Not really. Just yes, Celso,
thank
Satori,
you.
Hi, Celso.
Theo, yes, Justine.
Oh, there's
I think we're just riveted by the conversation now.
Okay. So yes,
But if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat.
Yes, please. We were getting
So you made
Oh my God, I remember that. I remember that, Justine.
I don't know who Juan McLean is.
Oh yeah, Amy Lou. That's the one where the cops came and got us, honey. They got us. It was like, you know. Anyway, so
okay.
So tell me about the Halloween show.
So Halloween, we were
this was like 2005.
2005.
That
No,
was
we
that
weren't,
early?
we weren't around in
I don't know.
2008, honey. I don't know what party you were at, but it
I don't
wasn't
know.
ours.
I was still sitting in front of the Roxy waiting to get in.
So we were, I think it was maybe even a Friday that night or something, but I know that we were opening a little earlier than normal. We were opening at 9. And I mean, like literally ready to open. And then I get a call from Justine. And I'm thinking, oh, there's some drama with the door, you know, whatever. And she's like, we're not opening. And I'm thinking, well, why aren't we opening? Like, what's the problem? And she's like, no. Like, we're not opening. Like, police are here, padlocked, insane. Yes, 2005. Thank you, Zach. And I remember calling venues. I called Downtime. I spoke to the manager, Lenny, by the way. Lenny, I don't know if you're watching or if anyone can say hello to him. He was just a delightful human being, the best manager we ever dealt with. And then luckily, Georgie, you know, our partners, one of our partners, he was one of the investors at Delancey. And he said, well, we can move it to the Delancey Lounge. So literally the party moved.
This is like the hour that the door was supposed to open.
Wow. Yes.
This was like people were already. Did you have to have somebody? Well, wait. Can we pause for a second? Because I gotta. Usually, I would know the theme, and I would tie the theme to the holiday, like whatever I was going to wear, and I would get an outfit made for Motherfucker, which took like a week. And usually I would just show up, and I knew the drill because it was very similar and kind of in the same vein as what I would do in terms of hosting for Rated X Panty Party.
Correct.
And so once you were in the family, like you kind of knew sort of the mojo.
Yes.
But this Halloween for myself and felt like it was different ball of wax for me, but we also had Kevin Aviance, who's obviously a legend, and we hope that Kevin is
doing much better. Yes, thank you for mentioning that. I was going to mention that as well.
And we had Kevin Aviance, this legend, who's going to join us on stage as Michael Jackson, which is like a mind fuck. So like, and we rehearsed for like a week and a half. Several dance rehearsals with the dancers to get the dance moves down. The Thriller, it's not like, you know, doing the electric slide.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So we had all these dancers. We had a aerialist. Remember, we had somebody that was going to come down and be one of the dancers come down when the zombies emerged. You know.
Oh God! See, I didn't remember that detail.
Who was an aerialist?
Because we could do it at the Roxy, obviously.
Can't do that at the Delancey.
Exactly. And they were rehearsing.
The Delancey, you can touch the ceiling.
Yes.
Yeah, they had their rig. They went in early, had their rig set up at the Roxy, and we rehearsed. Obviously, we rehearsed at the Roxy the night before or something. So like it was set, and I was so excited to be in this damn Thriller thing. I was going to play Ola Ray with my blue leopard outfit and my hair just like it is now.
Yes.
And so we were all so stoked, and the dancers were coming. This was like everybody didn't even have a cell phone at that time. I think like the dancers.
No, this was 2005.
I feel like it was hard to get in touch with some people because we were trying to reach everybody saying, no, go to.
It was chaotic. We're at this point, we're talking about a party that averaged, so people can get an idea of what we're talking about in terms of numbers, between 1,500 and 2,000 people. That's what we averaged. And Halloween.
I don't think you can fit that many people in the Delancey.
No, you could not. There's no way. There's no way.
You could not. And you know, there were certain holidays that we would get a bit more, and Halloween was obviously one of those. And it was Kevin called me. I remember Kevin called me and it was like, yeah, what's going on? We're gonna do this Michael Jackson, you know, whatever the whole bit. For those who know Kevin, I say that very lovingly, by the way. And so now I'm playing, you know, pop psychologist, like probably still with a towel on and talking to Kevin Aviance like Yes, we'll do the number. We'll be okay. Blah, 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 blah. And yeah, we ended up at the Delancey, which could not have been relatively speaking, couldn't have been further away from the Roxy, which was on 18th and 10th Avenue, and the Delancey is on the Lower East Side. So, and I think we all know that it's never easy to get a cab on Halloween. So
yeah, right under
at all, especially
that
over
bridge.
to crossing town.
Williamsburg
And
Bridge.
we had I think we had like 20 dancers. Like we were like
it was a huge production. Yeah, yeah.
That's a small stage
for 20 dancers.
Did it happen or what?
Yeah, well, I mean, to the best of
not
my
on
ability.
the stage. We just
okay.
like spilled off the stage, and the dancers were just kind of like literally standing next to the patrons and trying to do, like at that point you're just like whatever.
Yeah.
Did they have all 3 floors open?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Did they have all 3 floors?
Yeah, we had to have all floors open.
Yes, please.
And then some.
Yeah.
Thank you. I wish I would have had that. There's this amazing photo. I don't think Thomas is online. Is Justine online? Can you see if Justine is online?
I think she's still here. Yeah. She said, "I almost fainted when the cops came in."
And Justine, do you remember calling me? Because you were the one that called me.
And let's see.
Yes.
And yeah. And do you Justine,
spill it. Honey,
do you have do you by chance have Thomas's book Behind the Velvet Rope? I think it's called. Thomas.
Oh yeah.
Honorado. Our doorman, aka door bitch.
Yeah.
The photo there. Can you send the photo with the person getting into the ambulance?
Who? What? I have that. I don't know where that fucking book is though. Oh wait, Justine has it.
Is she gonna look for it?
Yeah, you can email it to me if you want.
I don't want to describe the photo because I want everyone to see it if she's able to send it. Okay. Well, then I guess I'm going to describe the photo. So, Thomas,
anyone has it, I can put it in post on a clip.
Say that again.
If anyone has the photo, send it to me afterwards, and I'll put it in a clip in post.
Oh, okay, great. So, there was a book written about our doorman Thomas. Not only for our party but other parties that he would do the door, and then also he did press. He did some bar press. I think he got us our first big press piece in Time Out New York. And then we had Susie from Magnum PR. She started to do our press. Sometimes they would both do it. But there is this photo of someone dressed as a bunny rabbit outside of the Delancey, and someone is on a gurney getting into an ambulance.
Is the bridge in the background?
Just like this. You're not remembering this photo, Peppermint. It's so.
Wait, I'm looking. Tell me, okay, and they were doing what? The bunny getting into the ambulance? The bunny's like, oh no, I think
exactly.
Who would that have been? Who would that have? I feel like that was You know who I feel like that bunny was?
It wasn't Lady Bunny.
No. Oh, damn it. Oh, I can't remember his name.
God, you actually know the person who was dressed as a bunny? Really?
Was it Lars?
There was a guy who used to come. Oh, what's his name? And he used to be.
We know a lot of guys that came. Came where?
Yes, darling. And he used to be. He used to. I swear. He used to like do sound.
Really?
Eventually, not necessarily at Motherfucker, but like he did sound for me.
Rob the Bunny.
Rob the Bunny. No, it wasn't Rob. Wait, Scotty the Blue Bunny.
No,
it wasn't. But it wasn't. That's not who that was.
No.
Oh damn it! I can't remember his name. Oh,
it's okay. It's okay.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. I think I do remember that photo though.
He dressed in a blue bunny.
No, that's a different
someone
bunny,
else.
different rabbit.
That's a different bunny.
So many bunnies at your parties.
Yeah. Is anyone else there, or?
I don't know. I mean, people are watching, but
if
anyone knows, they chime in.
Anyway,
we're almost at the 2-hour mark, so I'm gonna say this, like, we'll probably wrap soon. So if anybody wants to ask me something or ask Peppermint,
Sure. Well, do you want to keep going through photos, and maybe both of you can chime in with some memories?
Sure.
Yeah, let's look at those photos.
See.
Oh, there's Pep.
Nice.
Oh God, I love
that. What do you remember what theme this was?
Could that have been the circus one? I think that's the circus one.
That was it must have. I mean, I tried my best to like match the theme, so it would have either been. It probably would have been circus, either that or like a New Year's Eve moment, maybe.
Possibly. That's New Year's Eve. That's at Downtime. That's one of our last parties. That's 2006 and 7, and that's obviously just staying with me. And I'm wearing.
Oh, did we do a black and white ball?
We did. That was for 2006.
Okay, then it might have been black and white ball for me. That looks like it's at the Roxy.
Yeah, no, I think that's at Avalon. I think that's the eve of New Year's Eve.
Not Roxy. I meant Avalon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the eve of New Year's Eve, because that year we weren't able to get an actual space on New Year's Eve, so it was the next best thing.
MTV, tell me about that.
Why send 2 photos with the blue top?
Yeah, well, this, MTV.
Yeah. So, God, I was still doing my eyebrows then, meaning painting them. I never plucked them, for the record. It's true. Okay, next.
You were on MTV?
I don't know what that's about.
I mean, that would have been a real. That's obviously.
This used to be like 2004 or 5.
If anyone can find that clip, if it ever aired, that'd be really great.
Did
you
Block
ever
Party
get to
Roxy.
see it?
Yeah. I remember when Block Party came. Yeah.
Nice.
I totally don't remember that interview. That's crazy. Okay.
That's funny.
Oh, Dutch.
Thank you. That's a great picture of Dutch.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the dolls.
Right.
That's that Avalon / Limelight. That's us. That was, I believe, is that a Bob Gruen one?
Oh, I met Bob. I made him take my picture once.
Like,
you have to take the picture.
This was when we were filming the movie. This was the New York Dolls, and this was the first time that the movie crew was filming.
What happened to the movie? Was there a movie?
And it's out.
Well, it's out.
And I feel like that's also the same year that
there's a movie, and I didn't watch it in preparation for this, and you didn't tell me about it.
How dare you? It was on
YouTube.
What's
online
it called?
A couple months ago. It's called.
It's very intricate title.
That was also
do you not know, or do you not want to say?
It never had an official release, and there's hours and hours of footage of it. They filmed us for 6 months. We even went to LA, or I did, and they filmed me there, and I interviewed Brian Rabin, who did a great party in LA called Cherry. I have to also mention the makeup party in LA that was amazing. It was sort of like the LA version of Squeezebox. I interviewed Mick Rock, who, of course, the legendary rock photographer who took many photos of Bowie and Deborah Harry and so forth.
Bob Gruen's legendary too. I have his book.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. So I don't know if that one was Bob Gruen, but that was Georgie. Well, that was the 4 of us. So what else we got? That's another one.
And I think that's when
that's Milan, and that's Mistress.
Mistress. I think that other one with the colored background was also when the magazine came in, shot there or like interviewed or something. I mean, I feel like
was that someone said Rolling Stone
about Motherfucker. There was something.
Yeah, there was something that went along with filming at the where I don't know where this was. I don't remember.
This is at Limelight. What else?
Okay, yeah. Then they came to interview and do all these interviews. And oh my gosh, where do you think this was, or when do you think this was?
I don't know. We're
standing outside. Look, are you outside somewhere? I can't tell.
No, I would never go near the door. That's me. And that's somebody. Oh, is that Blue? That's Blue.
That looks like Blue.
Yeah, Blue was one of our.
Oh, is this Eugene or whatever that?
Possibly, yeah.
Oh, that's Downtime 2002. That other one was Downtime.
Really? I don't remember that. I don't know these characters.
I don't know these gals.
That's us.
Y'all were so fly. I mean, y'all dance.
Johnny looks drunk. That's from Time Out New York. That's 2001.
That's cool.
That's hilarious. I love that photo. Very New York.
That's what was her name?
Miranda Moondust.
Miranda. That's right.
It's a fabulous bunch of people here.
Roxy.
That's a very blurry picture.
Yeah.
Oh, Mecca.
Oh God, we have to. Well, I'm going to end it with a particular thing, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Contortionism. I think.
Yes,
that's Mecca.
Maybe a devil. Yeah.
That's more Miranda, and that's
who's that?
Soigné. That was Soigné in the background.
Oh, that's Soigné. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
A great artist.
Wow.
That's the dolls.
Yeah, that's David Joe. I don't remember that photo. They're no longer with, and the legendary Willie Ninja.
Oh, legendary Willie Ninja.
We were talking about in terms of how the Cramps sort of signified musically in terms of bands, like what Motherfucker was about, and that's sort of the other side of that, because it was indeed a rock and roll dance party. But when we say rock and roll dance party, I mean, we played everything. I would always say like everything from Elvis to, Franz Ferdinand and in the middle. But, there was a lot of disco. There was some electro that was played. So having, again, for me, I can't speak for my partners, but when Mecca, whom I had known for some years, thank you, Brendan. Thank you. Indeed. We started to talk again, like we had lost contact, and I said, I'd love, Peppermint obviously knows this, that we're big fans of Paris is Burning. And I said, God, I would love to have Willie, whom I had met a few times, but, didn't have like a connection. And Mecca's like, I think I can make this happen. And, we had two for two motherfuckers. We had the House of Ninja perform. And I feel that was sort of also like just apex of the party.
It honestly was. It was like quintessential nightlife coming together from all different angles. And it really did represent, I think, to some of us what Motherfucker was.
Yes.
And signified, because it was a rock and roll party where anything goes, but it really was like more rock and roll in spirit than in music genre, and having some ballroom, dancers.
Madness.
And a house come down in vogue and serve. I mean, there was a few that y'all did, like one Motherfucker we did. I don't remember. We did a hot lunch jam.
You did hot lunch. Well, that was the 5th anniversary. If you had to ask me, like, there's of course the Cramps and all that, but I think in terms of a theme, one of our most successful ones was the Rock and Roll Circus theme that we did for the 5th year anniversary. It was at the Roxy. We couldn't get a band, and Justine and Johnny, because that was their thing, they were really freaked out that we couldn't get a band. And our contact, Scott, was like, you guys, you got to stop worrying about that. People come to the party, like you're the main feature. And he was right, but it's like, oh, what are we going to do? And then I thought, you know what? Let's go all out with the sort of the visual stimulants. So there were more go-go dancers that night. We had somebody on stilts. We had a little person. Of course, we haven't even mentioned this, like for the anniversaries, we would always have balloons come down, like it was New Year's Eve. We had that. And then in lieu of not having a band, we had 3 was it 3? Yes, 3 vignette performances. One was the House of Ninja with Willie Ninja and Mecca and Javier, who I believe is now the father of the house. And they were, of course, beyond incredible. Another performance was Amanda Lepore, who did her song Champagne. Which was
She complimented me on my pants once, I believe.
insane. And then the final performance, and did you just sort of MC the number, or were you part of the
I emceed the number and I was Debbie Allen.
Right. So so this is how this number came about. One night, Milan came to Rated X just to hang out, and Milan is like an amazing person and fabulous performer and has been on Broadway and so forth. And we played Hot Lunch, and he just did this sort of impromptu dance that, of course, everybody applauded after. And like many things that I see, I store in back of my head, like, okay, I got to use this one day. And I said, we got to do Hot Lunch for real. And so we, for anyone that has seen the movie Fame, it's of course the number where they're in the cafeteria and everybody like does this sort of impromptu routine in the middle of the day in the High School of Performing Arts. Which did you go to, Pat? No, because you weren't here yet.
I know some people who went there.
And yeah, it was just this routine, in honor of that, which again is also very New York. So we always tied it in. But yeah, I'd say that party was thematically, and what we put into it, especially in lieu of not having a band, was probably the one that came to fruition in terms of what we were envisioning. And I said to myself that I was not going to forget this particular homage, remembrance that I'm about to say. I was DJing and it was crazy, and I remember I really concentrated on certain songs that I hadn't played before. But as I'm DJing at the Roxy, Dee Findlay, who used to is an old school punk rock lesbian, and she, they don't make them like Dee anymore. Just gonna leave it there. And she, another unfortunate soul that has passed. Too many have passed since we started this party. But she's in her like snazziest vest, like looking like something half half Rat Pack, half yes, exactly. But that was Dee. And I met Dee at the Pyramid in 1980 something or other. So we're talking 20 years later. And she gets my attention and she says, "This is beautiful. This is amazing." And that it just sort of, it crystallized everything, like the work, the years, then being in New York, being, so many people that go to nightclubs were disenfranchised, we're not part of mainstream society, we're misunderstood because people see us as misfits, and perhaps we are. But it to me, it's like Motherfucker was for us. It was not for them. Like the minority was the majority at Motherfucker. And that moment kind of told me, you know what? You did good, kid. You did good. And I don't know. I think I'd like to I don't know. I think I'm pretty satisfied with what terms of what I want to say. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let's I want to just breeze through some of these flyers just to like they are in no particular order. We got the Rapture.
Yeah, that was a crazy.
Where was Club Shelter? That's another one, huh?
39th
Street.
39th Street.
Yeah, that was in Midtown.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that was another crazy disaster in terms of the
I
line.
can't see who played
Oh,
this
the black
one.
and white
Early
ball.
flyer.
Okay.
That the theme
Oh.
behind that was in honor of Truman Capote's
Oh yeah.
black and white ball from 1966.
Masquerade Ball. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Oh, yeah, I remember
Oh,
that. That was a
motherfucker.
beautiful flyer.
Yeah,
yeah,
I love that.
it's upside down.
Yeah. Well, part of it is, yeah. I guess
Yeah.
you have to close it.
Oh,
New
so
York
yeah,
Dolls.
Dolls
Yeah.
played.
Moby, huh?
Forgot Voodoo played,
Mhm.
right? End of summer soiree, right?
I met Moby once.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Labor Day weekend. Yes.
An early
Oh,
one. That's the first one.
yeah. Okay. Thanksgiving.
Eve.
Club New York.
Club
That's
New York,
another
New York
one. What's
in
that?
Times Square,
Okay.
43rd Street.
Here we go. Yeah.
Oh, and the tag Upbeat Music for Downtown Kids. That
Yeah.
Johnny T
Oh yeah.
thought of that. That
Nice.
was a great tag.
Eugene.
July
Okay.
3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
Fever.
Oh, that's the one
I
that I
don't
did
know
the
that
red,
one.
white, and blue
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
There
yeah,
we
yeah.
go. That makes sense.
Mhm.
That was
Ew.
our third one, or I think so.
Uh-huh. True. Yes.
Sunday. Yeah, that was our third one.
Roxy. Yeah. Lots of
was-
lips. If anyone knows who lips, here's the Andrew WK.
Yeah, yeah, that was the 2-year anniversary.
Great. President's Day. Okay.
Yeah.
Radio 4. The
Oh
Witness.
yeah, yeah. Oh, there was a huge snowstorm. That was the day that I almost broke my neck in a cab
Oh no.
getting there.
Wow.
That was the
Nice.
second one.
Meow
Was that
Mix,
the
right?
Meow Mix? Yeah, that was the second one.
Gotcha.
That's a
That's cool.
Halloween one.
Halloween Creep Show with
At Spirit. Spirit was a great
the
venue.
Undead
I
Fuckers.
remember
What's
seeing
that?
The Go-Go Dancers.
Oh, okay.
No, wait. Oh, we must have
Weren't
not been
they?
able to get like a headliner thing. So I curated a show, and the Dueling Bankheads, they did Bella
Oh, I
Lugosi's Dead.
remember.
At
Yeah.
Spirit. Where was Spirit?
In the way on the west side in the 20s.
Hmm.
You know.
God, I've forgotten all of these venues. Good grief.
Right? The Bravery. Yeah.
Yeah, Club
Okay.
Shelter.
So many lips. The Rapture. Here's the
Well, we
Rapture.
started there.
Oh
so I
yeah,
think,
that's right. That's a
7-year anniversary. That was with the Faint. That was at Webster
Oh, you
Hall.
had the Faint?
Mhm.
I love the Faint.
Oh my God, I
man.
remember that.
I've seen them like 10 times
At
least.
Webster Hall. How many times did we do it at Webster Hall?
Just once.
Just
Just once,
huh?
yeah,
I've
right?
seen
Oh,
them at
that
Webster
has
Hall.
somebody's, so they could get paid.
Oh, that's
Oh
funny.
yeah, they're tagged for their promoter
Yeah, the
tag.
tag.
Cool.
Oh wait, can we go
back.
to that? Oh yeah, so
The realistic. So is this the first one?
parameter was that was the 1-year
No.
anniversary.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was-
So who made the
Whit
flyers?
went
Andrew?
on at 4 in the
Go back.
morning.
Can you go back
Go back.
one?
Sure.
That's the one that we got. The Lars. That's Lars.
Oh. Fucking
Okay.
Lars. Halloween Ball. Who played this one?
Oh, this was that night.
Willy Ninja. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
That was amazing. So yeah, he performed. Willie Ninja performed twice. New Year's Eve bash. Where was this?
Ooh,
All
the
our New
Toilet
Year's Eve
Boys.
parties started at 2 a.m. By the way.
So, yeah, there's a considerable number of parties
Central
here.
Fly.
Labor Day. Oh, here's the Creps.
Oh,
yeah.
there we are. There we are.
Yes, the pinnacle right there. Amazing.
Indeed.
I really wish I went to that.
And I think was that the last one? That was the last party.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, this has been wonderful.
Yes.
I think did you guys learn something? I hope everybody learns a little something.
Yeah, it was really quite a trip down memory lane. I'm gonna just check my phone, make sure no one.
Sure. Well, let me just do some plugs. Hey guys, you guys filled up the chat today. Thank you so much. If you've never been here before, I'm always talking to like super fascinating people, even if you don't know who they are. I recommend you check out some of the past episodes. Recently, we had the director of the new movie Cannibal Mukbang which is awesome. We had some crazy aliens, Big Nazo. We had a mayoral candidate who I think you can vote for in a week or a month or something like that. If you want a clown prince
Is that
mayor.
Paperboy Love Prince?
Paperboy Love Prince. Yes.
Okay.
Do you know him?
No, but
Okay.
I'll check him out.
That's going to be a future episode. We got to schedule it. We had Cynthia Von Bueller on recently. If you want to hear some other crazy nightlife stories. And then that's my album. You can get it on Bandcamp. Go check it out. I got some music videos and stuff out. I think I maxed out. Yeah, I had some other things on there, but that's okay. I think we maxed it out with all the pictures and the flyers. What do you guys have to promote?
Pep, you first.
What are you doing these days, Peppermint?
Trying to resist fascism.
Right.
But I am stoked to. I got word last week that I do a couple episodes on this TV series called Survival of the Thickest, which is a Netflix TV series. It's a great show. I love it. It's a comedy, and we just found out last week that we were picked up for season 3.
Congratulations!
So,
what is it about?
It's basically, if you like Sex and the City, you'll like this. It's like the real version of Sex and the City because it's very real New York. It's set in Brooklyn, and it's about a middle-aged, full-figured lady. She's a stylist making her way, trying to have a career in fashion, and her motley crew of friends around her. And I play one of the friends. And
what's it called again?
It's called Survival of the Thickest.
For Survival, I will check it out.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I was watching you. Forget you. I'm going to watch Survival of the Thickest tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, same network, same channel, whatever, same platform.
And Michael?
Well,
you're always doing stuff.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah.
So gonna mention I think 3 things or maybe 4. But the first one I'm gonna mention, I can't actually say the venue yet because I haven't signed the contract, but the date is confirmed. It's at a venue that I've never performed at, but it's a very good place, and the date is Friday, August 8th. And the announcement should probably happen, if not by the end of this week, certainly by early next. So let's call it a week tops. But again, the date is confirmed, Friday, August 8th. And it will be a Bowie show, but it will be a brand new Bowie show that I'm doing specifically for this venue that I've never performed at. A little later in the year, I have...
what's different about this David Bowie show?
Well,
can you
learn in a week.
Oh, okay. Is Matt playing?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Yay! My old drummer Matt is in Michael T's band. If anyone doesn't know, my old band Vonesper, he used to play drums for me. Actually, I met Matt in college. We were in band together in college.
Matt James, for those that are wondering what Matt we're referring to, and then
lots of connections from high school and college.
More than I anticipated.
Spawned into the nightlife here.
And then later in the year, it's going to be we're going to have a celebration for Beauty Bar, which is where I work every Friday and Saturday. It's the 30th year anniversary of Beauty Bar.
When is that?
Not a specific date, but sometime in October, and also in late October. Speaking of the Cramps, there's a party that I do called Sally Can't Dance, and
Bowery.
Yes, at Bowery Electric in the East Village, and we do different themes, but we've always done the Cramps, obviously, around Halloween. So this year is the 10-year anniversary of that, and we will be doing that party on Thursday, October 30th. And then on Halloween proper, it is lots of big anniversaries. It is the 50th anniversary of Rocky Horror, and I will be doing my annual Rocky Horror production at the Slipper Room for the very first time. And very excited about that. So yeah, those are, I guess, some of the highlights. And
I remember saying, I think I went to the first Rocky Horror show that you did. Was it at LPR, right?
It was.
But I
Wow.
didn't make the show. I was just there afterwards because I had to do the Dresden Dolls at the Irving Plaza.
Yes, Brian,
Yeah.
who actually also played with
Brian
me for a while.
Biglione. Also,
Yeah.
you guys, Brian Biglione is on my album. Where do I have it here? Welcome to My Pity Party that you can get on Bandcamp, vonesper.bandcamp.com. Another band member we have shared.
Yes,
just got
indeed.
to plug myself in there.
Indeed.
We love Brian.
And yeah, that's what I have in terms of special events coming up. But
amazing.
I guess the last thing, you know, anybody ever wants to offer me some type of deal to write a book about motherfuckers so we could get a little more detailed, by all means, feel free to get in touch with me.
And this
or
is your
Justine.
calling. I mean, I can't say, well, I'm not telling you what your calling is, but I have always said that Michael T is the untapped, one of the untapped, unsung historians of, I hope that you don't take an offense to that, but
No, not at all.
Your prowess and your knowledge and your experience for nightlife in New York City is unmatched at this point. And I've always been waiting. We were, you know, working at the club a lot, but like, I always said to myself, I can't wait for the day that like we are able to get some of Michael's knowledge and history in the form of like a book or something like that.
What about a documentary?
Well,
is there enough out there?
There's already one collecting dust, so I don't need a second one collecting dust. So
I
maybe
know. What's up with that? So you said it's on YouTube, but it's not on YouTube.
Love you, Justine.
It's Justine there?
Yeah. She was just saying.
Yeah.
Is anybody else there? I just want to say thank you, Justine.
Yeah, let's catch up on the comments if you want.
Yeah, let's look once more.
You stopped the Music Club New York to talk on the mic about how the bouncers were mistreating the partygoers.
Yes, and then I got thrown out by the owner, and then I had to beg my way in to get into my own party.
We love the Faint. I love the
They are nice boys, the Faint.
They are back on tour. They had some anniversary milestones of their records. I'd love to have them on the show. If anyone could put me in touch, let me know.
Oh wait, did you just send the documentary link?
I don't know.
Let's see. We got some love for Big Nas. Oh yes, go watch my past episodes. They're all fascinating. Michael T has been on the show before as well.
Yes.
So go check that out.
Second appearance.
Documentary. Yes.
Star Waves.
We got one donor for the documentary, right? How come you never did a flip on stage in your stilettos?
Next question.
Yeah. Yes, write a book. We got some.
Thank you. This
That
is
the documentary
okay.
link. Okay.
Thank you, Justine.
Should I share it or do you want me to share it?
Justine, is it okay if he shares it here?
I mean, I could put it in the description after we end, would probably be the best way to do it.
Right. Well,
I'd like to see it because I didn't know about it.
That's there.
It's good.
Okay, great. Yeah, email it to me or I don't know where you sent it.
2006, in case anyone's curious what year.
It'll be in the description, you guys.
I want to thank, of course, just, you know, there's too many people to thank individually, but I really do want to thank everyone that worked at the party, whether it was long-term or short-term. Of course, my partners, Johnny, Justine, and sadly, the departed Georgie. Chi-Chi, who gave us our first opportunity. And really just everyone that supported the party. There's no party without an audience, and without an audience that is there for you time and time again. And yeah, just thank you for all the years of great times.
And future times. Go to one of Michael T's shows. I'm sure I'll make at least one of them. I try to see you when I can.
Yes. And of course, thank you, Peppermint and Mistress and everybody.
Thank you, Peppermint. This was a great surprise. It's always good to have more insight into the topic at hand.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you for having me. Congratulations. Happy 25th.
Thank you. Isn't that crazy? God.
Wild.
Time is an illusion, you guys.
Very. Well, I hope everyone out there that has joined us either for a portion or all of it, thank you.
I have to share one last thing because I found it. This is not at a motherfucker party, but there's me with Andrew WK in 2003.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
When you're after
He's back, you guys. He's back. He's doing weird stuff. Do you know he's like a whole performance art piece? Like, you know the whole history of this? I can't get into it here, but
yeah, no, this would not be the time or place.
no, it's definitely fascinating. You guys should check it out.
But yeah, thank you for anyone that was, you know, part of this. Oh, thank you,
Great,
Brendan.
Thank you, Amy Lee.
And yeah, and happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody.
Happy Memorial Day weekend. Hope you guys had a good long weekend. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Help me fight the algorithm. Give me a comment. You know, tell your friends, share it out. Follow us on all the things down here. And funny enough, my closing song is a parody I did of Andrew WK. So it all
I guess
comes
that'll be the closing song. And of course, follow Peppermint or myself on
Peppermint, what's your how do we follow you? What's that one more time?
Peppermint 247
on Instagram.
Oh, and on everything.
On everything. All right. Follow Peppermint.
She's a little more well versed in the technological aspect than I am, but you can follow me at on Instagram at TEMichaelMT. And ladies and gentlemen, my name is spelled that way. Stupid social media makes me add the double T, but that's the way you spell my name.
Yeah, I always get it wrong
double
when
E
I'm promoting.
You talk, when you write about me. It's Michael T. All right, that's it.
All right, thank you. Like, share, subscribe, and comment below.
Like, share, subscribe.